Hey, it's Carlo BSUG here. This week I want to talk to you about doubling your billing per hour, okay? No joke, double your billing per hour. I frequently have this conversation with members and I'm serious, double your billing per hour, okay? It can be done. If you're not at 800 to 1,000 plus, you're too low, okay? 800 is like bare minimum hourly billing for GP. $1,000 is a nice sweet spot. More than that is definitely possible, okay? So let's talk about how do you do that? Because just think about it for a second. If your billing per hour is like $500 and you got to 800 or 900, what does that do to your bottom line? Right? There's no extra overhead really required to do it. You're just getting it done, right? You're just actually, it's almost all going to the bottom line. So let's talk about strategies to do that. I'll give you a few really easy strategies to consider. And you know, for you guys as members, this should all make sense because we're teaching it to you on a regular basis. So I just want to remind you the things to do, okay? So the first key mover to double your billing per hour is a 2-assistant team, what I call lead backup team. Lead assistant follows you, backup assistant flips rooms, takes next patient in. So you are rolling between 2 or 3 rooms all day and never slowing down, never stopping. No need to sit down. Remember I told you guys, get rid of your office, just a place for people to put stuff that you don't really need to do. And if you have that set up, you have the capacity to go, right? The other thing I'll tell you about that is right out of the gate, I would suggest to you, if you think that your schedule is, you know, just no more room in it, when I went from 4 days to 3, I didn't change anything about the number of people I saw. I just took a unit of time off everything and I squished them in. When I went from 3 to 2, I did the same thing. I just shortened the appointments and squished them in. When I went from 2 to 1 and change, the same thing, okay? And you're gonna think that's nuts, but I'll tell you one thing how this works. Your work, your time needed will expand to fill the time you have, okay? You know this is true. If you're working on a patient and your next patient has canceled, you will take more time. You will blow into the next time slot for sure. If your next patient is here, you will magically hurry up and get it done, right? You know it. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go bananas 5 days a week because that will burn you out. I'm talking about if you want to take your productive time. First of all, by the way, if you're under $500 an hour, just forget what I just said. You need to hurry up because you're just going too slow. But if you're already at, you know, 600, 700, and I'm saying shorten it up and shove it in, you'll be able to do that, but you'll take 4 days and go to 3. Well, would you take an extra day off and work a little harder on the 3? I think you would. 2-assistant team is minimum to make that happen, okay? It's required to do. 1 solid assistant follows you around, and then the backup assistant, because see, it's hard to find, okay? Raise your hand right now if it's hard to find a dental assistant, right? Everybody says that. It's nearly impossible, okay? I can't find one here to save my life, and every area that I talk to a member in, and clear across the U.S., even overseas, they can't find, you know, it's not easy to find really qualified assistants. So if you have one really good one that you work with, that's all you need. The backup assistant literally was a barista yesterday, today is following your system. This is how my backup assistants work, okay? Because they just go through a very simple training process, which by the way is the clinical efficiency program that you have on your Academy learning platform, right? That's exactly what they do. They learn that. Once they learn that, it's done. Everything's systemized so easily. They can't miss. But the lead knows everything about your nuances and how you work and how you pass stuff and to go fast, right? Because you know if you took away your quality assistant, your long-time assistant, and put someone else in there, you probably go at half speed. So keep your solid assistant with you everywhere you go, and then the backup does everything else. This person is doing all the other systems that we teach you, and this person just following you around doing treatment, making sure that your appointment is top-notch. And we'll talk about that right now. Second thing is what I have been calling an hourly scorecard. What I want you to do is I want you to take every hour, and I want you just to pause for a minute, and I'm actually going to give you a sheet of paper to use for this, okay? Because I think it's that important. But what I do is every hour I stop and I look. Me and my lead assistant will look at the hour. And I'll look at 3 things. Did I build rapport with that patient or patients that I saw? I usually see more than one in an hour. Did I build rapport? Right? Did I hit my hourly goal? So let's just expand on this. Because if I didn't build rapport, it was a crappy appointment. That means the patient, we didn't grow the relationship. If we didn't grow the relationship, that's a problem because I want referrals, I want retention. So we have to make sure we build rapport. Did I hit my target, my hourly target? Okay, if my hourly target's $1,000, did I hit it? If I didn't, why? And dig into that, right? So we need to make sure that we're running on track. If you're paying attention, you won't miss. And then, does that person have a next appointment? Because I want to make sure that nobody leaves the practice without an appointment, right? Everyone should have a next appointment, whether it's with me or the hygienist or whatever. But if we do these three things, I know we've got, we've kind of won that hour, okay? Because I don't want to have more than a bad half day. So if I'm not checking, then the worst thing I want to do is to get to the end of the day and be like, oh, we only did that? Yuck. Like, if the end of my day is like $5,000, it's like, okay then, that was enjoyable. We should be at 9 or 10. And if those numbers to you sound outrageous, then this is for you, okay? The next thing we do is to look in depth at capacity. For me, I need to have the ability to see another $1,000 to $1,500 a day minimum in same-day additional treatment because I'll find it, right? Whether it's the patient in the chair, whether it's the patient on emergency, whether it's the patient on hygiene, I need to be able to do work that isn't in my schedule. The only way to do that is to have a lead backup team, to have the capacity to do it, which means I don't need to have a bunch of extra rooms sitting there. I just need to be able to utilize the rooms efficiently, quickly. But that means is if I diagnose something in hygiene, then I need to be able to do that work within 5 minutes. So if the hygiene appointment ends and the patient agrees to do the treatment, I'm going in that hygiene room. My backup assistant has already set it up for restorative. I'm rolling in there with my lead assistant, do the filling, and I'm gone. The backup assistant will flip it, and hygiene will go back in there. And the hygienist will go to my other room or something like that. And this thing just rolls all day. And this takes systemization, and it takes people getting out of the mindset of this room is my room, that room is your room, that room is your room, and we don't ever cross paths. That's ridiculous, right? Every room is for everybody all the time because it's fluid. The next patient who comes into the office gets the next room. It should be set up that way. If your office isn't set up that way, it's only a hygiene room, that's only a restorative room, that's costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stop doing that. Equip every room the same, okay? And set them up exactly the same. Again, the clinical efficiency program and the academy platform talks about all this stuff. That is exactly how we're set up because it just allows for this, right? And this is how you get to $1,000 an hour and make it easy to do, okay? Next thing is, again, straight out of clinical efficiency system, exam notes. If you took this system away from me, I would freak because it's the only way I can see 30, 40 hygiene checks in a day without blowing up my schedule. It's really easy to do if I know exactly where I'm supposed to go and I don't have to look at the schedule. Right? I don't look at the computer all day, but I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to do it, and where I'm supposed to do it. I'm only checking things in the room, but my team has got this systemized to the point where I don't need to do it anymore. And this system, again, outlined in clinical efficiency, please take the time to watch it as a team and implement it. It takes you 5 minutes to watch that video and understand it, and then start using that system. It's so critical. Fifth is our bin system. If you took this out of the practice, it would be DOA, okay? Like absolutely disaster. We would have no chance. This is how you set up a room in less than 5 minutes. Like anybody can do it. Remember I talked about my backup assistant can be a barista yesterday and my backup assistant today? It's because of this. If you took this away, now they have to know everything. Now they have to know everything that goes into an appointment, every appointment, and they're all different, right? Restlo's different from crown and bridge, different from endo. With this system, anybody can do it. The next person who walks down the sidewalk can probably set it up. So this is critical. Again, if you're not using this system, better watch that video again, okay? Again, all in the Academy Learning Platform. Sixth is a system for fast finances. Again, Financial arrangements should take about 90 seconds with the patient, okay? This is not a like bring the patient out of the room, go talk to the financial coordinator, and like you can do that, but you forget about this, okay? This happens like, okay, now don't get me wrong. New patients, bigger treatment plans have to go through the proper channel. They go sit down with the treatment coordinator and that whole thing. But I'm talking about same-day treatment, additional diagnosis on a patient who's already there, emergency care, that sort of thing. That should happen in the room, and it should be done in about 90 seconds or less. And most of the team is trained to do that, right? Like your lead and backup team, everyone should know how to do this. All the backups should be trained on it. All the admin team should be trained on it, and everyone should be able to roll in there and do it. I can grab someone out of the call center to go do fast finances, and they can do it, because this should never hold you up. Again, this is for like less than a couple $1,000s of treatment, okay? If you're talking about bigger cases where there's more involved and you have to send insurance pre-estimates and all this sort of jazz, that's different. I'm talking about like getting same-day treatment done. The last thing is incentives. If you incentivize your team to do things, they will do things magically. Incredible. I don't like a lot of incentive systems, bonus systems out there. You know that. I've talked about this at length. I don't like the whole team system. I don't like everyone shares a piece in the profit after a certain amount, because you know what? That's not actually how it works, right? You have your top 10% people. You have your top 2 or 3 employees. They carry the team, right? You have that, again, like I talk about, it's 5, 15, 80. It's basically the 80-20 principle, right? You have your top 5%, 1 or 2 employees that you're like, you cannot live without those people. Then you have that 15, which makes up your top 20. They're really solid employees, but they're just not the same as that 1 or 2 people that you have, but they really are critical. Then you have the rest of the team, which is the 80%. And they work hard, but they're not the same as these couple people up here. Then you have that bottom 10% that's just like, you should have fired them, they're still there, I'm not sure why. You just don't want to be down a body, right? So do you give everyone an equal incentive based on that? See, I've never found an incentive system that I've gotten that is fair to both the employees and the practice, okay? So I like individual incentives, and I like using human psychology to make sure that they get the maximum impact. And I've taught you guys this system, you know, the token system, right? I think that's the best system going. If you use that and you incentivize things like this, you could double your billing per hour just with this piece of paper right here. Take this, go double your billing per hour. It's that easy, right? So now for you guys in our programs, you have access to all this. You have access to my team. So if you're not actually in the 800 plus per hour range, then go through clinical efficiency training again and get on the phone with one of my team members and get this figured out, because it's like if you're at 400, you're leaving half the money on the table, right? And I'm not talking about selling a necessary treatment. I'm talking about just doing what's already there. But the funny thing is, when I talk to people who are half where they should be, they're booked out a month in advance. They're thinking like, I need an associate to help me do some of these fillings. I mean, no, you need to be efficient so you can do them all quickly. And then get an associate to do more, because you can do it, you've got it, you're just not doing it quickly enough, right? So if you're working at $400 an hour, which many new members come in and that's where they're at, you're at $400 an hour, you're now working, in my opinion, 2 days a week more than you need to be. You could be doing $800 an hour and be done in 2 days instead of 4. Why would you work the extra 2 days, right? Then you have an associate cover the time. And there's so many ways to structure this, but you're working twice as hard as necessary because you're still sitting there all day in the practice, away from your family or things that you want to be doing, right? If you love dentistry, that's great. I mean, I enjoy dentistry too, but you know, gun to my head, would I rather be drilling teeth or would I rather be out with my family? You know, what would you pick? So could you get it done in less time? Yes, right? I'm still doing at least $80,000 in production a month, and I'm in the clinic less than 5 days. 5 days average-ish, okay? So it's possible. It's possible. That's all I'm saying. And all I did was cut my days, see the same number of people, get more efficient, get more effective with my time. This is how we do it. And we teach you this, every one of these, piece by piece by piece, okay? All in the program. If you have not utilized that yet, please go back, watch the videos, get in touch with our team. Let's get this stuff rolling. All right? Have a great week. I'll see you guys soon.